All right, we're going to do a video analysis here on Max. Max is gearing up for his high school season. Let's see what we got. Obviously not ideal pitching on a flat ground, much less looks like a slippery floor. But Northeast Baseball, we do what we got to do. I know you'll be off a mound soon, Max. So let's go over some of the basics here. What I really like is the eyes on target. Right, when you come into leg lift here, balance point, we're seeing a good hip shift. Right here, you'll see that hip start pointing towards home plate. Again, while the eyes are looking at home plate as well. Now, the problem with this floor that you'll see, I noticed it right away, is the lack of stability. So as he comes forward, he's losing a lot of, see how his foot slips? Obviously on a mound, especially a dirt mound, that's just going to be some added torque for you. But in this situation, then we see in the front foot too, the slipping, right, is going to be a factor here. So we have to keep that in mind as we go through these mechanics. But let's continue. So we get here, hip loaded, start to come down, right, breaking the hands in a good spot. I like that. Right, we always say, look down your scope. Oh, sorry. Look down your scope, right? Look down that, for him, as a lefty, his right elbow, right shoulder, down at his target. Hand going down to the pocket. Rides out, starts to pull with that elbow up. Gets him up to around 90 degrees, right? We could always be a little inside, a little outside. Right here, we're looking at about 90 degrees, right? We call that throwing position. That's great. And then the follow through, really strong. Seeing a good locked out leg here, especially, again, considering the circumstances of what you're pitching on, Max. So arm path looks solid. I really like it. Arm path, arm slot, even like the front side. Right, the glove right here, strong tuck. Boom. I like that a lot. Keeps you in line, gets you some added torque on the arm. Now let's look at the lower body and core. So when we're here, we're riding down the mound. Good position here. Back leg nice and loaded. Front leg closed. Right, so that means the hips are closed right here. Again, arms in a good position, starting to pull with that elbow. Take it a couple more frames. What we see here is a good hip fire. Right, so Max, you're staying closed really well. Right, the stride would be even longer, obviously on a mound, just because of gravity and momentum. And then again, with the traction from your feet. But what we're seeing here is starting to open up as we stride out. Back leg is still loaded. Right, so here we go. These hips are closed. Arms getting up into a good position. Eyes on target. Now as we go forward, this is crucial right here. And this is where a lot of guys struggle. Your hips are opening because your knee and hip are firing, causing this front foot to open. So you'll see in the next couple of frames, boom. See that? See how the hip starts to open here with that front foot opening, but that knee is coming in. We end up in this position, right? Where now our hips are open. We're starting to fire these hips, the back hip, I should say, starting to fire the back hip to open up the hips completely. I want to see this turn over a little bit more, right? That'll get you more torque. Again, I understand the circumstance, but in this position here, your foot should be more in this position, right? More of this. That's just going to get you a little bit more hip activation. So just keep that in mind. Again, I don't know how much of a factor the slippery floor is on this. I'm sure it matters more than I think at this point. But that's really good. It's really good getting here, staying closed, and then you're exploding here. is where a lot of guys struggle. And it's awesome that you're able to get it, which is right here. Boom. Throw in the hip. Now, again, considering the floor on a mound, you would go into front foot strike, which is really a heel strike, right? Because we're breaking. What we're seeing here is you're landing on your toe, and I think that's just your body or you just protecting yourself because the floor is so slippery that it's like a compensation. So you're landing on your toe and then resting your heel. On a mound situation, which I'm sure I'll get from you soon, you would hit the heel first to break, and then that would cause the front knee to lock out. So that's something just to keep in mind. I don't think there's any major adjustment you need to make. I would just like to see it compared to a mound on your next video, which I know you'll get to me soon. So now we end up here. And as we come through, the arm's in a good position. See how we get front foot strike. Right here, the hips are facing. Arms in a good position, right? And about that 90 degrees. Front side is strong, eyes on target, right? If possible, especially through mobility and some T-spine activation, we want to get these shoulders back a little bit more to get us some more midsection torque. So how we're going to focus on that is when you're doing your med ball drills, especially this week, next week, really focus on firing these hips like you are here and try and pull these back at the same time. Pull the medicine ball back at the same time. Rewatch the videos I've sent you. And that's going to help create torque here, like elastic energy, I guess you could say. And then what that's going to do is help you launch forward, because we're going to create more elastic energy throughout the core, which is going to help you just get more torque forward. So when you're here exploding forward, right, there's going to be more room for your body to move and more potential energy that can come out through the baseball. So when you land right here, we're seeing this leg, front leg, really lock out nicely. And you see that trunk come straight up, which is great. Right? Again, on a mound, I think you'd get even further in terms of extension. Obviously, we're not seeing ball release here, but we could tell the extension is pretty good. Like right here, you're about, that's your line. I'm willing to bet on a mound, especially when you're producing more power and you got gravity helping you out and you're more stable on the ground. You're probably closer to like here, which is going to help you get a little closer to home plate, a little better extension, more velocity, more spin, all that good stuff. And then a strong follow through right here. So Max looks really good. Biggest thing for you, mechanics are solid, little tweaks here and there. Continue to get stronger. We got to continue to put some weight on your frame, continue to work on the mobility, right? We want to maintain this front leg closed and then really explode through that back hip. That's your main thing for mechanics. Arm path-wise, pretty solid. Right, straight down, pull with the elbow straight up. Looks like, noticing here, your hand is kind of going out a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe you're pulling with the elbow. Could just be the camera angle. Down to the pocket, pull with the elbow up. Yeah, you're ending up in a good position. So by the time you're getting to front foot strike, that's the timing that's good. So you're here, about to get to front foot strike, and then boom. Throwing position, 90 degrees. This is the crucial position here where I want to see you having this foot turn over. It's going to help your hips fully open up. And then obviously, like I said before, we want to go into heel strike. That's going to help also get this stride longer, get you closer to home plate. But the timing with your arm action is really good. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but the floor is definitely a big impact here. I think that would be a big boost for you to turn over this front foot and then land on the heel. You would see a vast improvement. So look forward to that in your bullpen this week. Send me another video for update. Definitely keep this one as a reference. But I'm seeing a lot of good stuff, man. I'm super excited for you. We got to continue to get you stronger, continue to get you to be able to produce power from this back hip, because that is your powerhouse, right? Given your frame and your capabilities right now, your powerhouse is going to come from those hips, right? Continue to keep the arm path clean, continue to work on the mechanics, get this lower body as strong as you can, try to add some more weight. Any kind of weight's going to help you, even if it's not good weight right now. If it's 5 to 10 pounds, it's going to be huge for you, man. Continue to extend out front and keep it strong. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to do your next breakdown off the mound. But I think you're in a really good spot going into the season, man. You've come a long way. Awesome job.